Hi everyone, and thank you so much for watching my channel, The Witty Turtle. And in the last video, we had studied about section 35 clause 1, 2, 3, 4, and also section 35 2AA, right? Similarly, one more section is there, which is your section 35 2AB, which basically says that it is allowed to a company if the research and development work is carried on during the course of business, then deduction at a rate of 100% is allowed for all the revenue and capital expenditure except land and building, right? But there are three important conditions which need to be fulfilled. That is your the SSC should be a company, right? Firm या किसी और को नहीं allowed होगा. The SSC should be a company and it should be engaged in manufacturing business or in any kind of biotechnology. And the last point says, the last condition says, it must be the research must be approved by any prescribed authority, right? So these three conditions must be fulfilled. But ये जो section है, this doesn't have much relevance in today's date, because earlier 150% deduction could be claimed under this section, but now it has become 100%. So it is very similar to the rest of the sections. But हाँ, यहाँ पे ये बोल रहा है कि deduction will be allowed to both uh, to all the capital expenditure except land and building, right? But again, as 150% वाला condition अभी नहीं है, deduction will be not allowed for 150%, it will be allowed up to 100%, right? So it is very similar to all the sections that we studied yesterday, right? So why am I revising this section? Because there might be a question just to confuse you. So to keep this in your mind, I'm telling you about this section, right? Now, coming to the next very important point, is that sale of scientific assets, right? So you purchased some asset for your scientific research. After your scientific research gets completed, right? So after that, you have two options. You can either use that particular asset in your business, right? Or else you can simply sell it off, right? So what will be the treatment in both the cases if you use it in your business and then sell it off, and if you directly sell it off without using it in your business? So coming to the first point, that is your sale of scientific asset without using it for the purpose of business, right? So in this case, what happens? PGBP income will arise, right? Without using it for the purpose of your business. If you are simply selling it off, then वहाँ पे क्या हो जाएगा? What will be your PGBP income? It should be your lower of the two, that is your sale price, or whatever deduction you claimed on this asset earlier in section 35, right? सेक्शन 35(1)(4) में आपने जो भी डिडक्शन क्लेम किया है, either that or the selling price at which you are selling it now, whichever is lower between both of these, that will be known as your PGBP income. And if your sale price is higher than your cost, right? If your sale price is higher than your cost, then in that case, what happens? Capital gain will arise. Short term or long term, it depends on the period of holding. Now, the second point says what? If the scientific asset was sold right after using for the purpose of business, it was used for the purpose of business, right? After the research work was completed, it was used for the purpose of business in your business. So, what happened in that case? Um, the actual cost will be nil. Why it will be nil? Because you try to remember your explanation number 1 in section 43(1). What it told, if the asset is sold, uh, if the asset had earlier claimed deduction under section 35 and now it is being sold off, then in that case the actual cost will be what? Actual cost minus the amount of deduction claimed under section 35. So generally, क्योंकि 100% deduction है, so it comes as nil, right? So the actual cost will be nil. And when the asset is sold after using it for the business, when the asset is sold, then in that case, to compute capital gain, section 50 is invoked, right? This is all about your sale of scientific research of asset. If it was sold without using it for the purpose of business, then selling price or deduction under section 35, whichever is lower, that will be your PGBP income. And if your selling price is more than your cost, then what happens? Your capital gain will arise. And what if the business was used in the what if the asset was used in the business? What happens in that case? तो वो आपके बिजनेस में किस कॉस्ट से जोड़ा जाएगा? व्हाट विल बी द एक्चुअल कॉस्ट इन योर बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट? It will be nil. And after using it for the business, when you are selling it off, then in that case what happens? In that case your capital gain will be calculated by invoking section 50, right? That was it for the sale of scientific asset. Now the next section that we are going to study is section 35ABB. Okay, so this section tells about expenditure for obtaining license to operate telecommunication services, right? So जितने भी telecom companies हैं, Reliance, Idea, Vodafone, BSNL, Airtel, they have to obtain license for all those regions in those where they are operating, right? South, north, south, east, west. For all the regions where they are operating, they have to get a telecom license for that, right? So here the expenditure for obtaining the license of telecom services, that is also a capital expenditure. Why? Because it helps you in acquiring right to operate in certain regions, right? So it is also a capital expenditure. So in this case, how the deduction will be claimed? So the deduction will be, see here again two things will arise. One is that fee is paid before commencement of the business. Fee is paid, your licensing fee is paid before commencement of the business, and fee is paid after commencement of the business. Licensing fee is paid after commencement of the business. So in case where the fee is paid before commencement of the business, so in that case what happens? The license fee amount will be amortized. जैसे depreciation होता है वैसे ही, because it is an intangible asset, so ये क्या हो जाएगा? यहाँ पर amortization हो जाएगा. So it will be amortized over a period which starts from the previous year in which the business commenced, and it will go up to the previous year in which the license expires, right? For example, you took the license on 9th April 2020, right? And the license is for 10 years. So license कब expire होगा? License will expire on 9th April 2030, right? And you started your business when? You started your business the very next year, that is on 9th April 2021. So in this case, the licensing fee will be amortized over this 9 years, right? From 9th April 2021 on the date on which the business commenced, and it will go up to which previous year? Previous year 3031, right? 3031. Now the next thing is that if the fee is paid after the commencement of business, right? For example, you जैसे एयरटेल हो गया, एयरटेल का बिजनेस बहुत सालों से चल रहा है, राइट? एयरटेल इज इन द बिजनेस फॉर अ वेरी लॉन्ग पीरियड. सो नाउ if Airtel incurs some capital expenditure in acquiring telecom license, then what happens for a different region, suppose? So in that case what happens? The amount of licensing fee will be amortized over a period, uh, and that period will start from the previous year in which the license fee was paid, and it will go up to which year? In the year where your licensing fee will expire, in the previous year in which your licensing fee will expire, right? So fee paid before commencement of business क्या हो जाएगा? It will be amortized over a period uh, starting from your previous year in which your business commenced up to the previous year in which your license expired. And if the licensing fee is paid after commencement of business, then जिस previous year में the previous year in which the licensing fee was paid, from that year to the year in which the license will expire, right? Up, within that particular period the amortization will occur, right? Now coming to the next thing, that as this is an intangible asset, so again you can sell it off, right? You can sell the license Now, here one thing you need to understand that selling of licensing can be done in two ways. You can either fully sell it off, or you can sell a part of it. For example, Airtel has got license for all the four regions, right? East, West, North, South. And now Airtel wants to sell off West and South ka license, the license for West and South, right? So in this case, what is happening? Airtel is partly selling. Airtel is selling a particular part of the license, right? So what happens? Now we will understand what will be the treatment in this case. So coming to the first part, which says that the entire license is sold or the entire license is transferred. So in that case, if the sale proceeds or the selling price is less than the unamortized amount, unamortized amount मतलब WDV मान लो, ठीक है, इतना लाइक आई एम नॉट एक्सप्लेनिंग दैट इन डिटेल, WDV ही मान लो, जैसे टैंजिबल एसेट्स का WDV होता है, सिमिलरली फॉर इंटैंजिबल एसेट्स दैट इज योर अनअमोर्टाइज्ड अमाउंट. So, if the sale proceed is less than the unamortized amount, then in that case, what happens? This deficiency amount, this deficiency amount shall be allowed as deduction in the previous year in which the license was transferred. In the previous year in which the license was transferred, right? Coming to the next point, which says that if your sale proceeds is more than your unamortized amount, then in that case, the excess amount shall be taxable as PGBP income in the year in which the license was transferred. Now, again, here one more important point to remember is that this excess, to the extent of deduction already allowed in past, right? To the extent the deduction already allowed in past, that will be taxable as PGBP income in the previous year in which it was transferred, right? Now, if you're getting confused, I know you have completed your classes. This is just a revision video, so you can go and simply check your notes, and you can practice some questions on this. Now coming to the next thing, which says part of the license is transferred. For example, the license for only South and West is transferred. So in this case, what happens if the sale proceed is less than the unamortized amount? Then what happens? The balance shall be deducted over the remaining life of the license. जितना भी रिमेनिंग लाइसेंस है, रिमेनिंग लाइफ ऑफ द लाइसेंस है, over its entire life, that balance amount shall be deducted, right? Now, if the sale proceed is more than an unamortized amount, then what happens? It will be taxable as PGBP income in the year in which the license is transferred, right? Understood? Now, the next thing is that if any amalgamation or demerger is happening, so in that case, what happens? Whatever is the new company, whoever is the new company, in case of amalgamation, if two companies are amalgamating and one amalgamated company is born, then the deduction shall be allowed to the new company, to the amalgamated company, right? In case of demerger, what happens? One demerged company that gets converted in two resulting companies, right? So whichever resulting company is taking this particular license, the deduction shall be allowed to that particular resulting company, right? This is again clear. Now the next thing that we need to understand is, again, we have been doing this since last 4 to 5 classes. uh, if the sale price of the license is more than the cost of the license, sale price is more than cost, then what happens? Capital gain will arise. And if it is not more, then capital gain will not arise, right? After this, another section is there, which is your section 35 ABA, which speaks about expenditure for obtaining telecommunication spectrum, right? The last one was section 35 ABB, which used to talk about expenditure on obtaining license of telecommunication services. And this section, section 35 ABA, tells you about expenditure for obtaining telecommunication spectrum. So ये जो spectrum है, this basically deals with different varieties of internet, right? Not the calling option, right? The previous one was dealing with the calling option. Now this is dealing with the internet option, upgradation of internet. So in this case also, all the points are very similar, right? All the points are totally similar. You don't need to uh, read anything in this particular section, right? I hope this is clear to you, and if you really find this video helpful, then please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, The Witty Turtle, and don't forget to hit the bell icon so that you'll be notified tomorrow when I'll upload a new video. And don't forget to share this video with your CA and CMA final friends.